All right, so GM everyone. Um, Today we'll be talking about narrative over what we call direction, and the basic thing behind this for we to understand is narrative is very different to direction, and the reason why I say so is a very simple analogy, and that is when it comes to narrative, it moves in a very different way than that of direction. Now, what do I mean? What I mean is this. Let's say this is the 4 hour chart, right? Okay. This is the 4 hour chart. And then we have something like this. In a layman terms, what is this? In a layman terms, this is telling us that the trend is bullish, right? In a layman terms, it's telling us that the trend is bullish. Okay, that's fine. That's very fine there. We understand that what the trend is bullish, right? And then what do people take this as? They will take it as what? We have a break of structure towards the upside, which is telling people that what? Obviously, there will be an internal demand here. That what they are looking to do, what they are looking to what to continue buying till this external high again, which is what they are looking for. Okay, that's perfectly normal, right? That is when you are following the direction. And now this is the reason why I'm talking about narrative is different than that of direction. Okay, now when we're talking about narrative, this is where we take from the higher time frame perspective going down to the lower time frame perspective. How the fuck did that? Okay, going down to the lower time frame what perspective. Now remember, this is the H4 time frame, right? This is the H4 time frame. After seeing that, we identify our trend. Now, follow me carefully. This is how we follow direction, and we use narrative to tell us what we are doing. The main difference between narrative and direction is that narrative is what we use to know what exactly are we doing now. Direction is where we understand where are we headed, and narrative is what are we doing now. I hope you understand the difference. The difference is narrative is what are we doing now. Direction is where are we headed, which is a future thing. That is direction. Narrative is talking about what present. That's the main difference between them. Now understand this. Let's say we have this, right? We have this as a regular break of structure. Now, after seeing that this is a break of structure, right? A break of structure towards the upside, and then the candle closed inside. The candle what? It closed inside. What is it telling us? It's simply telling us that this is an invalid what? Break. It is not a valid break of structure. I'll show you an example on the chart. This is just one of the examples of price narrative or narrative of price in over direction. In direction can be telling us that, well, this is bullish. Direction does not give you what you are doing now. Direction only gives you where you are headed. Like direction only gives you a future term perspective. Narrative gives you a present term narrative on what to do. Now, after you have seen this sort of thing on the H4 time frame, right? Because for me, my higher time frame is the H4, which is 4-hour time frame. Now, when I go to my 15-minute time frame to look for structure in line to what the 4-hour narrative, we're going to have something like this. I'm only going to draw this entire leg here. So we're going to have something like this, the push up till this sweep here that happened. After the sweep, what happened? The candle closed inside. If the candle closes inside, this is how it is going to be. Now, once you have seen this, there are certain people who have called this one change of character, market structure shift. I don't even know anything as any language you want to call it, as long as you are comfortable in understanding that price not change structure here, which is Narrative does not tell us where the market is going, whether the bulls are in control, the bears are in control. No, that's not what the narrative tells us. The narrative tells us what to do now. Narrative, it does not really concern narrative on whether the market is bullish, the market is bearish. No. Remember, there's a saying that inside a bearish market, you can buy. Inside the bullish market, you can sell. That's what the narrative is doing. The narrative is literally telling us what we can do, what we are doing now. Okay. So after you see this, that's the reason why I don't call this a change of character. Because if you call this a change of character, the next thing is that people will be determining to see that there is a certain move like this on the higher time frame that they will not be expecting price to do like this and come down instantly. No. What I'm trying to say is that for now, we are going to be targeting on this internal range demands. Like now, one is that this demand now is already invalid. So they are going to be stop losses below this level, which is also requiring liquidity below this level. But now, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, this is a very far-fetched leg. A very far-fetched leg. So you cannot just see an entry from here inside the pullback and just take it downwards here. Although price can move like that, but it's not wise. Usually what we'll do is you look for the supply, because obviously there's going to be a supply within this level. The last buy candle before the major bear run here, and then this demand is going to act upon the market and to come into this level like this, mitigate, then continue its direction. I'm sure many people have seen occasions whereby they use their demand like this. The demand is valid, but it is not what the market is doing now. The market just came here to build up this major supply into falling. Now let's go to the chart. Let me explain with the chart as an example. Let's use the chart. And for this case study, I'm going to use mostly gold, because this is the gold setup that I got from this morning. Remember, today is a Monday. I don't trade on Mondays. I just decided to look at the market and see it. I'm not even on the trade like this. I'm just letting this one be like that. I'm not on it. Now, where did we start everything from? We started the narrative from our 4-hour time frame. Remember, the 4-hour time frame is where we get everything that we need. The 4-hour time frame is where we get everything that is needed. Now, let me explain this for you. Remember, we're dealing with narrative. We are not dealing with direction. So, all these things that are from here, they're not really concern us again. I hope you understand me. They're not concern us. What concerns us is the narrative, which is waiting to happen now for the market. That is what concerns us, and not what has happened. I hope you can follow up with what I'm saying here. What concerns us is what has happened in the market, or what is happening in the market presently, not the direction. Because now, if you look at market now, if you look at what is happening here, what is the direction? I can't even say the direction is bullish or it is bearish, because that is not my style. I follow the narrative, so that will not really concern me. Now, when we come to the 4-hour time frame, I think this is where the market opened from. Yes, because yesterday the market was majorly selling. Now, when the market came here, it took out what? It took out liquidity. Now, after taking out liquidity, what was the next thing? Assuming price came up like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Assuming price came up like this, and then it's closed down here, we will be looking for for an internal supply here to continue the sale. Now, that is assuming this candle closed below. See, there's one thing you need to understand when you are dealing with price narrative. That thing you have to understand is sweep of liquidity, break of structure, to know when each of them occurs, and then to be able to identify valid highs and valid lows. There was somebody I was speaking to at a very late time, I think was it last year or so. We were discussing about valid low, valid highs, and the rest of such. Now, look at this. Many people won't be doing what? They're looking for a demand inside here to buy this market and continue. Why are they looking for demand to buy? Because they saw that what? One, let's give sweep here. Two, they said it broke structure here. So what are they doing? They are looking for demands to take price to where? To this high. But the first thing you have to understand is what the price do here. What the price do for this place? Now, that's the first thing I'm meant to understand. And what the price do? The first thing that we need to custody is that our price swept liquidity. It did not create break of structure. It swept liquidity too. So where is the high that caused the sweep of the liquidity? That high is invalid. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Any low that causes a sweep of liquidity or any high that causes a sweep of liquidity, that high or low is invalid as well. Okay, it seems some people are not understanding what I'm saying. Now, what I'm saying is something like this. This is the high that caused what? Sweep of liquidity. In basic term, after a sweep of liquidity has occurred like this, as long as it is not a break of structure, as long as it's not a break of structure towards the downside, this high is invalid. This high is what is invalid. There are times that people, you can see this type of market and what will price do next? After price doing all of this, price can find an internal demand here, mitigate, after mitigating to go up again, mitigate another internal demand, mitigate, come back, mitigate and go. There's somebody from somewhere will be finding a supply inside here. To follow the market and then come back. Obviously, this supply will do. Don't be saying no, affect the market. It will affect you. Price can come back inside again, mitigate another demand, and then take you out. With price intentionally taking out that high. Because that high was never valid in the first place to begin with. I hope you are following what I'm saying right now. You can see that high was never valid in everything that we were talking about, which is where we got our narrative from. Now, when we are looking at gold, what happened there on gold? After the sweep of liquidity, you identify the high that caused what? The sweep of the liquidity. Where is the high that caused the sweep of liquidity? This is the high. That's the reason why this high was taken out. Okay, now we have understood the reason why the high was taken out. Now the next thing to do is what? Look at what price is doing now. After price closed above, right? Assuming the next candle that came up closed above this break of structure here, this so-called break of structure, assuming the candle closed above it, we'll be looking for what? For bias continuation to this high. But now in the aspect that did not happen, the candle came back and closed inside the range. It means that what? This also is not a valid break of structure. Because what causes a break of structure is when this is a valid break and price still moves or closes above. Because if we look at it on a different time frame, it will show us what? A week like this. The reason why we're seeing this one as a week is because we're on the 4-hour time frame. If you go to the 2-hour, the 1 hour, you will see a bullish candle first, and then you see a bearish candle first, and then you now see a bullish candle that pushed it inside, closing inside the range, right? Now that is the same thing that occurred here. But this one now, if we go to a higher time frame, let's say the 8 hours. Sorry for that. Let's say we go to the 8 hours time frame, right? We go to the 8-hour time frame. We'll go to the 12-hour time frame. You can see this as a sweep here, and it will not be a break of structure. I hope that you've understand where I came from with why this sale idea or intent came into my mind, or rather, if I say came into my mind, showed up on the chart. Okay, after understanding that this is invalid, the next thing is what? Where's our next invalid level? It's always telling us that what? This is our invalid what? This is an invalid low. This is what? An invalid low. Like I explained to you guys, it's just like, let me turn the chart upside down so that you see. It's just like the same thing I was telling you guys. if there's an invalid sweep like this, price is going to be what? Building up, following the demand until it takes out this final high, right? Now that is the same aspect that is following what? This like this. That's following what like this. Now I'll go down to the 1 hour time frame. When going down to the 1 hour time frame, what are we seeing here? When we came down to the 1 hour time frame on when was that time safe? I think it was early this morning. Not really early, but around 7 thereabout. When we came to the chart, you can see that how did the candle close? This is the so-called break of structure that people are looking at. Now, after the break of structure, what is there? There's an idea or influence that after the break of structure, there's going to be a first demand that caused the break of structure initially, that people are going to follow towards to buy the markets to where? To this external high. Okay, that one is already new. Now we already have our intent, we already have our followings from the 4 hour time frame that the market are following the supply to sell. That's what we are doing initially. All right. Now, after we've done all of that here, Now, the next thing we'll do for confirmation is going down to our 15-minute time frame. With the 1 hour time frame, we'll use it to understand that the close of the candle closed bearish, it's closed within the range. Now, see the break of structure here on the 4 hour time frame. So, now take a look at the demand here. This is the demand that people are coming towards to buy from, right? This is the demand. Now, remember the supply I told you guys. There's always going to be a supply. The supply is the last bullish candle before the major bears got in. Now, the first supply we had was what? This one. And it has already been mitigated here. Now, where's the next supply we have? The next supply we have is this bullish candle here. This bullish candle here. This is the next supply. And this is how this setup came up. I hope we understand what is happening here. This is how this setup did what it came up. And that's why the target is here. The reason why the target is here is because the stop loss range is very high. Or else normally I would have ended it somewhere around here, taking a 4-hour trade somewhere around here. But because the stop loss is very wide like this, I have to take it to the extreme here. That's the major thought behind everything. Well, with all of that, you can see